I just thought of what else we could do for an April Fool's.
What's that?
Have you ever seen My Favorite Martian?
Not in a long time.
Oh
yes.
my God. That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Hello, I am Christopher Lloyd.
I mean, you jest, but he's got his suit, and his suit is voiced by...
We have to go back to the future.
His suit is voiced by Newman. I can't remember the actor's name.
Wayne Knight?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe it's Wayne Knight.
So it's a real combination of Jurassic Park and Back to the Future.
I'm sorry. I'm so distracted about I'm so distracted about My Favorite Martian now.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed. I'm your host, Zach, and I know a lot about Doctor Who.
And I'm also your host, Cassie. And I don't know a lot about Doctor Who.
Really? We're back to that again?
I don't know a lot about anything. What I do know a lot about is alien conspiracy theories.
Really, Cassie? What kind of conspiracy theories might you be talking about?
Oh, you know, like how aliens helped early man build the pyramids.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way they
There's
had
no
the
way they thought
technology.
of triangle.
No, not on their own.
There's no way three different civilizations all came to conclusion that triangle's strong.
Like, you mean to tell me that white people didn't think of that first?
White people thought of cylinder, not triangle, and that would make sure that cylinder is clearly the thing all people think about.
Yeah. Yeah, white people thought cylinder, thought columns.
Thought cube.
No way. No way that brown people thought of triangles first. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bit
about how aliens are real.
No, there are. The universe is far too big for there not to be extraterrestrial life. But,
Absolutely. And Barack Obama said they're real, so.
yeah, but he, as president, never got to see any of them because Area 51.
He was too busy.
Area 51 is literally just a testing facility. They're not keeping anything there anymore because people know about it too much. Aliens are somewhere else.
Right, they moved all the aliens to Area 52.
Zach, did you read my mind just now? Or?
I think that might actually be a bit from Looney Tunes Back in Action. I can't remember if they actually go to Area 51 or if they have the joke that they're in Area 52. I just know that one of the aliens they have is a Dalek.
And the other one is Marvin, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're going to watch a classic serial. We haven't done a classic one in a hot minute here.
Hooray!
Back when we were going to watch your first Fourth Doctor story, I put up a poll to see if people wanted us to watch it. The poll was...
Oh, you put up a cylinder for people to vote on?
Put up a cylinder, yeah. Everyone, and overwhelmingly what had won back then was Genesis of the Daleks, which I'm not surprised by. That is often considered to be one of the best Doctor Who stories. However, that was not my personal choice for your first Fourth Doctor story.
Oh. This
one was. This is season 13, the third serial of season 13, Pyramids of Mars.
Hooray!
And I would have picked this one because this one is, I think, very much up your alley. It's got all kinds of stuff in it that you like. Mm-hmm. Men in doofy suits.
Love men in doofy suits.
Men in silly makeup.
Oh, I love men in silly makeup.
Lots of fancy props.
Lots of fancy props.
And in my opinion, one of the best voices for a villain in all of Doctor Who.
Oh, no.
So nice they used him twice. Cassie, do you remember Satan?
I mean, I know of him.
Let me be more specific. Do you remember David Tennant's two-part episode where they went to a planet where the devil was inside of it?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember the voice for the devil.
I'm sure I loved it.
That voice actor is also the voice of the villain in this serial. They brought him. They have him voice both the villain of this episode and the devil. And I think partly because he's got such a good voice. It's just
taken out of context. It's a really wild question to ask. Hey, Cass, do you remember Satan?
The actor's name is Gabriel Wolf, and you'll see in these episodes. I think he's got a It's not like I don't think it's a voice that you think of as like a villain voice, but when you hear it, it's perfect. It's so good. With that in mind, what would you expect from an episode called Pyramids of Mars? Especially one that I will just let you know came out in 1975.
This was before or after we landed on the moon?
This would have been after, because we went to the moon in 1960.
So there's I know during that time there was, and there still is, continued interest in the stars. What lies beyond our own atmosphere. What wonders await on the other planets that orbit our sun. So I definitely feel like this is touching up on the possibilities, especially since Martian is such a
hello.
Like, of all of the planets, like Earthian, icky. Terran, good. Terran is a great name for us. Martian, though, can't beat it.
Hello, welcome to my pyramid.
See,
did you think of the triangle?
Yeah, so I would imagine that this is the what if life on other planet?
I would say, I mean, I
what if ancient ruins on other planet? What if life was on ancient planet? Something happened. Oh no, something happened. We have to figure out what.
I could definitely see that, especially picturing there being pyramids on Mars. You could be like, oh,
specifically because we had discussed having a special guest on this episode whose whole deal is pyramids and ancient aliens.
A friend of the pod, Scott Nicewander, is part of a podcast called It's Probably Not Aliens. And I wanted to ask him, but I had thought we'd had the thought a little too late. And then I also found out the episodes are not available on Tubi anymore. And that really waylaid my plans to have any future guests, while it seems none of the episodes of any series are streaming right now. Just makes it difficult to invite people.
Could have had a special guest for Chris Angel, but hey. No, but shout out to Scott Nicewander.
Good dude.
What a lovely chap.
Had a kid recently. Good for him.
Yeah. It's probably not a baby. Probably not a ghost. Anyways, moving on. I would rather not dilly-dally on what I think the episode is, because I'm more than likely incorrect.
Well, then let's dip into the Cassie Profassi a little bit here.
Where I will continue to be more than likely incorrect.
Well, I mean, you do better than average right now. You're above.
I'm at 168 over 264.
Yeah, so you're definitely batting above half at least.
Am I?
And I've gotten a good trend here where I give you a question that I think is easy and a question that I think is a little more difficult, and I think with that we get some fair questions out of it, like today's Cassie Profassi questions. Obviously, I don't think it's a surprise to tell you that a story with pyramids in the title has a mummy in it.
What?
And in this story, one of those mummies gets itself caught in a trap. What kind of trap do you think the mummy gets caught in? Is it A, a rope snare, B, a bear trap, or C, a pit trap?
What is a rope snare? Is tiger put paw
in rope snag up to tree.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, rope snare is really funny when you consider. I heard rope snare. I thought rag snare, where mummy just gets its rag stuck on like a jagged nail and it just starts unwinding itself. That's what I had imagined. I don't know, because you just showed me that video of all of the traps that they used in the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. So now I'm super into pit traps. How silly is it when it happens?
I mean, I find it very silly. I don't know that it's meant to be very silly, but okay. I find it silly.
Bear trap, then. Bear absolutely. Trap? That is absolutely. There is not a single circumstance where a bear trap is not a little silly.
Speaking of silly, how silly do you think the mummies are going to look in this episode, Cassie?
Very.
What do you picture a silly mummy looking like, out of curiosity?
Oh, it's just straight up. Like, I imagine that the bandages they used are in some capacity dirtied, but not very much. Mm-hmm. Akin to a child dressed up as a mummy pre recession. So there's something very toilet paper.
There's something very silly to me specifically about these mummies that I'm sure you will also get a good giggle at.
Do they have good feet like the first mummy did?
Like oh no, I think they're fully wrapped. Like from head to toe, they're fully
Honestly,
wrapped.
they've got little mummy paws then.
Mummy paws. Additionally, as I mentioned, this episode has a very prominent bad guy in it. And this bad guy is supposed to be an alien that inspired one of the gods of the ancient Egyptian pantheon.
Damn it, you told me to prep for this one the other day. And guess what? I promptly forgot to do.
Because I was like, God, there's so many Egyptian gods. I want to give Cassie a fair shake to take a second to look at them. So I told you the question ahead of time, but the fascinating question is, this alien god is the inspiration for one of ancient Egypt's gods. Which god do you think it could be? And I will give you a minute to look them up because there are quite a few.
It's one of the animal ones.
I think they're all animal ones.
That doesn't narrow it down. All right, well,
I thought that was one of the things about Egyptian gods is that they all had animal heads. I mean, I'm not 100% on that. I'm not an Egyptologist, but
like I am cheating a little bit by looking at the one Britannica's list of like top 11.
I mean, that's a good way to narrow it down for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, my phone keeps glitching out on Raw, so I'm just going to say Raw.
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, sun god.
All right. Okay. So Cassie's settling in on the sun god then. All right, we will find out together if there's a very silly looking mummy in this episode that gets itself caught in a bear trap, and if the evil villain of this episode inspired the Egyptian god Ra in universe. Obviously, in real life, that was probably different circumstances. Oh, and we'll find out together as we watch season 13, the third serial, Pyramids of Mars. Today's episode of Who is My Doctor is brought to you by New Skin Mummy Wraps, the finest wraps on the market for the mummy in your life. But you don't have to take my word for it, just listen to this satisfied customer. Wow. Such deep insights. The kind of insights you can only find here on Who is My Doctor. Now back to the episode. And we are back from Pyramids of Mars.
Watch like an Egyptian. Watch like an Egyptian.
So, what'd you think, Cassie?
I'm waiting for Woody come back. Give me a minute. I liked it.
I think this is really fun. I think this is one of a lot of people's favorite episodes of the show, or stories of the show, rather.
Marring the blatant racism.
I suppose, yeah. I mean,
It's the specificity of referring to non-white people as savages. But there's also a part that's this is an episode that is taking place in the 1800s.
This takes place in 1911.
That's right.
Yes. 1911. So a bit. It's also specifically referring to ancient peoples. It is not saying that modern day Egyptians are savages.
Nah, he says it about the one who's specifically no, because as he like revealed the British explorers revealing the eye, everybody just starts yelling at him to leave and is saying, "Get the fuck out" in Arabic, and he goes, "What do those savages know?" And I went, "Oh."
Yeah, you're right. I had not retained that part of it. Yes, you are correct.
Oopsie-doopsie.
You are absolutely correct. I was thinking about it in the context of them saying that Sutek is this alien being is their god. I thought you were referring a little bit to that.
No, I do appreciate that he refers to people who are below him as insect.
I also like that he refers to himself in the third person.
Yes.
Kneel before the might of Sutek. God, what a good voice.
Yes, except I did spend the entire time trying to figure out who he reminded me of. And lo and behold, he reminds me of one of the voice actors who does voices in fucking everything. So it's not really fair of me to be like, oh, he reminds me of this one guy. You know, another very talented voice actor by the name of Maurice LaMarche.
You're right. There is a very particular way that Maurice.
But it's the way that he likes to do.
He enunciates.
Stinky.
He enunciates particular.
And it's a
emphasizes
quality,
the assonance of words.
It's a quality that like exists in his like. It's between his like throat and his tongue, specifically because he does enunciate, but then also where the voice is sitting is like in the middle part of his throat. Anyways.
Yeah. But I think I really like the way this. I think one of the best things about this story is the pacing of it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it escalates very, very well across all 4 episodes, especially because we're watching this all in one sitting. These were written and presented week to week, like you'd watch an episode one Monday and then the next Monday. But I think it still works watching it all at once. It has a very natural ramp in tension where you've got like we start off with like the bad guy who's like this who's Professor Scarman's like assistant who's living in the house and playing his organ all evilly. And then,
God, I want an organ I can play evil in the house.
And then that escalates to Professor Scarman and his mummies.
Just freaking yoked ass mummies.
Yeah, zombie Scarman shows up and like puts his hands on Ibrahim and makes him melt. And then after Professor Scarman, we escalate all the way up to Sutek himself, who is really compelling as a villain for someone who is literally paralyzed in a chair.
Yep. I thought that was just a choice. I didn't know he could move.
My paralysis has left me. I can move my little fingies again.
Yeah, his little baby cat, or his little baby,
little doggy paws.
Yeah, his little baby kitten paws.
You at first thought he was a horse.
Yeah, I did. I still do.
But then I started going, didn't I do it for you?
I thought it was a horse, and now I'm realizing that it's just a fucked up looking dog.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be reminiscent of Anubis.
That's fair.
The jackal head of the Anubis. But I do like one thing I really appreciate about the head design is that they
give him square ears. Yeah.
I was going to say they make his head deliberately too small to be a human in a suit. Like that's almost absolutely like a hand in a puppet.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that because you saw the big head and you saw him moving like a person and then it cuts to it like or crossfades, whatever, to that head that is too small to be a human head. There is like a level of it sort of helps your suspension of disbelief that this is not a person in a suit.
There's a level of, oh, shit.
This is a real thing.
Particularly since we've spent a majority of the episode looking at and laughing at the Michelin Man mummies.
The Michelin mummies with their just choice pecs. They're
so strong.
Their original Lara Croft Tomb Raider chest. And it's just pyramids.
Hey, you know what, Zach? That's a funny joke.
I'm glad I could help. I could service because they also got little butts on them too. As we find when they turn,
they do
around.
have little booties. I think it's from all the silly walking they have to do.
I do like that we see them turn around a lot, and so I think to make them visually interesting, they put like a big red gym in their back.
Yeah.
But you can also just tell that the top half of them is like a shirt.
Yep. It's a crop top. They're literally wearing football padding. It's awesome. Because it's the UK, it would be American football padding.
They did a lot of like effort to sell the bits in lots of places. Like they to make Professor Scarman seem like he is undead. They've put him in like very white makeup, like taking the color out of his face.
Impressive that the makeup never once looked cakey. I think that's just the color of his skin.
I mean, he might just be a pale man, and they made him even paler, and it just works.
Yeah.
I mean, they also put him in like white outfits, so I'm sure that helps.
No, they've put him in nothing but like champagne, like very pale khaki, with that like shock of blood red.
They put him in
tie.
mummy colors.
What? No, they put him in like anti-vampire colors.
Yeah.
But then specifically, he has some of the most beautiful eyes, which then contrasted with the I've been awake for 1,400 hours red eye makeup.
And then to sell
the
mummies, we actually see them unwrap them. And so we see their like big wireframe bodies.
Yeah, they're video game skeletons.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're orbsmen looks. I really like how the efforts they go to sell a lot of the creatures in this episode. One of my favorite things that they do is such like I am still trying to figure out how they do the effect where when Professor Scarman first walks out of the sarcophagus and he walks down the stairs, his steps cause steam to erupt off the carpet.
Yeah.
I think what they did is like on the bottom of the shoes they put some kind of reactive element, and then they put something in the carpet, so wherever he stepped there was going to be a natural like steam effect.
I guess, but it's a lot of steam.
It is a lot of steam. Like it's really impressive, whatever it is, because they do it a few different times where they
like it. I almost wonder if there is something where there's like it's steam trapped under the carpet, and there's something about like if he steps, like if he's got spikes in his shoes and he's like poking holes in the road.
I mean, that could be, but it was so precisely where he was stepping too.
Yeah.
It was literally framed around his shoe. It's very, like whatever they did, it was impressive. But then there's a point where Sutek brings this like cylinder through the sarcophagus, and it's steaming as Professor Scarman gets his hands on it.
I mean, we have confirmation. The Egyptians are responsible for triangles and cylinders now.
Then one of my favorite effects that I hadn't even noticed until this watch through was when Professor Scarman gets shot in the back and then he turns around and the smoke like goes into his chest.
Yeah, the containment of explosions and explosive things.
Yeah.
I appreciated the use of miniatures.
Yeah, where you pointed it out because you were like, that fire too big.
The fire simply too large. But because there was that when the spaceship is exploded and then catches on fire, but the miniature is just a little bit too close up to the camera, so you can absolutely tell like it's.
And then at the very
practical,
end,
it's fine. And then at the very, very end, there's just a hall of tunnels, basically, or it's just like rows of doorways that lead to what I can only imagine is a TARDIS the size of a thimble.
Well, also even more at the end when the house is burning down, the fire in that is also too big.
The fire. Fire don't lie. You use fire in your miniature. I will tell.
Fire bad actors. Fire
is the worst actor.
It will not commit to the bit at all.
No.
Fire do what fire does.
Fire is a little bit too serious. Like the episode itself. Also, you were very correct in this. There was a lot of 70s cheese that I just. I love me a good silly sound.
a lot of boring.
There was one that did sound like if you were to do so. This is going to be context, not for you, but for everybody else listening. We have a very particular voice we do for our cat Monty because he is our little eunuch son. He has the voice of a little cherubim. So when he meows, that is the best way to derive any cat voice is to listen to how they meow and then internalize that, and that's how they would speak. So Monty sounds a little bit like this.
Yeah, this is how Monty sounds.
He's just such a small little guy. And at some point during the episode, there was orchestration that sounded like our son.
It was like following the mummies around too.
It was.
The mummy who got caught in a bear trap.
It was so funny.
Yeah, it was one of those. Was like, I can't tell if this is a bit or not because like nobody's laughing at the mummy. There's a hunter who's looking.
That
like,
is
what
the one
fuck
thing I really miss, and something that you find a lot in Sid and Marty Krofft shows. They would never ever do it in Doctor Who. I miss a laugh track though. You know,
just one episode of Doctor Who that gets trapped in a sitcom.
I would love that.
Like that definitely feels like something they could do. Doctor Who gets weird enough at times.
Doctor Who could find out that it is a television show. Like I think we've gotten to the point in the modern series where the Doctor could become sentient that he's in a show.
He just goes to a convention and everyone tells him how great Blink is.
They missed the 10th Doctor, and he's just
Like, come on, man. That was so long ago.
Literally, but every single time. Do you know how much my feed is inundated with Rose and 10? Which, you know, there's worse things that it could be inundated with. Mm-hmm. And my feed goes, oh, well, you seem to really like David Tennant and Michael Sheen. You love those videos.
Which means, obviously, you would like to watch him with his other baby girl.
Yes. I'm like, I can't be too upset. But also, if my feed knew, it would show me K9 and K9 alone, which I am so mad at, because I was like, oh, yes, we're going to have a 4th Doctor episode. And then when I saw Sarah Jane, I went, oh, boy, we're in the Sarah Jane era. And then I went, that means we could be in the K9 era.
Yeah, I was. That was the only thing I think missing from this episode for you was K9.
If this had K9, this would be a damn near perfect episode for me. No notes, no criticisms.
I definitely have a K9 episode in the pipeline for this year for you, specifically because I don't want to.
As a treat?
As a little treat, yeah.
Thank you.
In fact, I've got, I think, 3 K9 episodes, depending on how you want to count them in the pipeline for this year. So you got 1 of 2 points this episode or this story, because you were correct. The mummy did land in a bear trap, but unfortunately,
and it was in fact very silly.
It was in fact very silly. But Sutek is the inspiration for the Egyptian god Set, which I think
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I couldn't tell you the name Sutek because I believe Sutek is actually one of the alternative names for Set. But I also felt weird I was like, I don't know if this question is cheating or not, because as they say in the episode, the ancient Egyptians had 740 gods.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a good chance that I would not have guessed it, because the only other option, I chose Raw because my phone glitched out on Raw like 3 different times, and I went, oh, it's a sign. Certainly wasn't. It was just a bad website.
Yeah,
Osiris.
Yeah, Raw or I mean, they're all good guesses. It was also, it's a little bit of an unfair question, but that's the point of the Profaci, I think. I am curious. I wish they would show us the other Osirans at some point.
Yeah.
Especially because the Doctor describes them as having dome-shaped heads and brain stems like spiral staircases.
He's describing Sontarans.
Because I would like to, especially because Sutek, it tells you that Sutek has done something to himself. If he
body mods,
yeah, like he has done something to corrupt and turn himself into this dog man, into this Doberman.
Good joke, Zach. Way to go.
I'm on fire today. It's 2 jokes.
Boy.
It's 2 jokes you've enjoyed today.
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly done something to turn himself into this, dog man, if everyone else has dome-shaped heads. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see this, like the other Osirans at some point, especially if they are all on par with Sutek.
Just because I've been working from home, I like to watch people's streams. Mm-hmm. Repo is my favorite game right now to watch people's streams. So as you're saying dome-shaped heads, all I'm imagining are those silly little robots. Or when they talk, their whole upper top flaps about. Yeah. Anti-Muppet.
Yeah, I think that would be, especially because they sort of established that, while they're better than Sutek, they are not necessarily good people. Mm-hmm. Especially because you have to assume that they came to Earth and got worshipped as gods and went, this is nice.
Yep.
Bitchin'. There's an episode of the original Star Trek where they go to a planet and find out that like ancient Greek gods are also aliens and they just like to fuck.
I mean, yeah.
The original Star Trek is a wild series sometimes, man. So that's what this makes me think of, is just this ancient, like it's ancient aliens, but it's done in a way where it's trying to
humanize them.
Yeah, it's treating them the way that old gods you kind of were treated, where they were not so much like, we have this idea in a predominantly Judeo-Christian society where there is one all-knowing, all-benevolent God. Uh-huh. But back in the day, in the way back when, gods were like fucked up politicians, basically.
I mean, you can still see it in like Indian religion.
Yeah, like any
where there is a god of this, there's a god of that, which in a lot of like especially Christian based religions, we do and don't have that. Where we do have the one God, but we also have Saint Jude, the patron saint of lost things and orphans.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a petty squabbles thing amongst like the angels in in Christian lore.
Well, because it's angels and then saints and then just don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started. Well, because there's a very like in polytheistic religions there is a very like gods are just humans but stronger.
Yeah.
They're humans but more. Like I can't like the number of stories about just Zeus going around fucking things.
Yeah, Athena burst out of his freaking head, right?
I don't remember.
I don't recall.
I just remember he seduced a woman while he was a goose.
A swan, but yes.
Swan, yes. Sorry, I think my brain just wants it to be a goose. Just walking up to the door. Huh?
No, keep going. Absolutely vile. Bad joke. Bad joke, Zach. I resent one of your good jokes. One of your good boy points. It's gone.
One of my good. No, my points. My Cassie's favorite moment for this episode was to me. I thought you were really going to just enjoy Sutek's whole bag. Like just visually seeing the man stuck in the chair with his big glowing green eyes and his big dumb hat.
Can I disappoint you?
Sure.
It was not.
Was it the mummies?
It was literally just the doctor and Sarah Jane walking into the tomb and then immediately walking out.
That's so good.
It's perfect.
Another one of mine is when the two mummies like hug a man to death.
Yep.
Nestle in my bosom. Enjoy being a mum witch.
Mediocre joke.
My mum witch.
See, there he is again, Maurice.
That's not Maurice LaMarche. That's
I know.
Phil LaMarche.
I know. It's Futurama. Come on. But, favorite part, and it did bring me into a zone where then I was thinking about like, why do I like Tom Baker's Doctor? I think the most, having only now seen a handful of stories. Mm-hmm. And it is moments like that where I appreciate the fact that his doctor just has the abashed confidence to walk into a room, not be sneaky. He just kind of walks in like very nonchalant. Because it happened during one of the like sessions where, blanking on every fucking buddy's name, but where he's specifically having like a meeting, I guess, with Sutek. Mm-hmm. The doctor fully just walks into the room. They're specifically we have to find where the insurgents is, find out where this alien lives, and whatever is happening. Mm-hmm. And the doctor just fully walks into the room and then hides behind a curtain.
And you're like, how does he not see? But then, like,
you
Sutek
are
is answering.
So big. They're going, we need to find him. He turn around 180.
Remove the explosive. It's just taking all of my focus. So much focus, I can't even look over your shoulders right now to see perhaps anyone.
Yes.
Anyone walking in behind into a curtain of some sort. I am so focused on holding this explosive.
And I'm going to talk about how focused I am, even though I need you to do this like 5 minutes ago.
Get out of my face.
It was that sort of, because there is something very comedic about it without it being intentionally comedic.
Yeah.
Do you know who else is also the master of just playing sincere to the point where it's funny?
Who's that?
Gene Wilder. Join me on my TED Talk today while I talk about how Tom Baker and Gene Wilder may or may not have been made in the same factory.
I mean, they both got that curly hair.
They have the same curly hair. They've got the same like crazy eyes. Not the color, but the specificity of like, you know how when you look into, we have a very good friend, but she's so tiny and so scary. And you look into Nat's eyes.
Nat has crazy eyes. Like she looks like she could kill you.
She could.
She looks like she has killed a man.
She has.
See, that you saying this though is making me picture Tom Baker singing "Putting on the Ritz."
I mean, in that particular instance, Tom Baker is both Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster.
Why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz.
Yeah, it's fun.
My favorite moment of Tom Baker, like this whole episode, is actually when the other Scarman, Lawrence Scarman, comes into the TARDIS for the first time, and he's like, absolutely fascinating, and Tom Baker's face is just lit up.
It's just preposterous,
like
isn't it?
his like eyes are as big as possible. He's got his full piano of teeth on display. He's like, yes, I like to think dimensional transcendentalism is
One more time.
Yes, I like to think dimensional transcendentalism is preposterous, but it works.
There you go.
Would you like to have a look around? Yeah, there's a joy to watching Tom Baker play because he has such a wildly expressive face. And he is so incredibly tall. He's got such big, like he really seems like he is almost not human.
Yes.
In a way that is really...
He's so believably alien.
Yes. I think more so than most other doctors.
Yes.
Like Capaldi is kind of getting there with his portrayal. And part of that is that they deliberately write up Capaldi to just like not understand what's going on half the time.
But
like
everybody else is literally just a man. I think the only other one that you could say like is in that same league would be Troughton.
Troughton is like the opposite. Where
Troughton is just a little guy.
Yeah, Troughton is a little guy, and Tom Baker is too big, and together they make up the two different sides of the Doctor being a big old weirdo.
The Doctor yin and yang.
They even say it in the episode once where they're like the Doctor has just gotten over an explosion, and so he's like passed out on the ground, and they're like, oh, let's get him over here in this like height in this like secret compartment we have in this room. And someone's like, we could try, but it's not very big. And Sarah's like, yeah, well, he is, so help me.
I think Sarah might be my favorite companion.
Sarah and Four have such a great dynamic together.
If for no other reason that I really appreciate the fact that there is a quality to companions that I'm finding that I really like, and that's the no shit Sherlock quality. Of just like there is, I'm giving you a face, and that's the quality of it. How would you describe the face? Just like,
you dumb motherfucker.
Yeah. Just like perpetually annoyed.
Yeah.
Perturbed, perhaps.
Well, there's a part of it where Sarah feels so much like that's, I think part of the reason I like Clara a lot too is very reminiscent of Sarah, in that they both have the ability to like punch back at the Doctor. I think most prominently in this episode, like when the Doctor gets dressed up as a mummy, he's like, how does it look? And Sarah goes, must have been one heck of an accident. Like, don't have fun with me. Like, there's something and Clara does that all the time. Like they have this dynamic of two people that are like best friends.
Well, because
to the point where they will rib one another. Yeah.
It was just a quality of, it reminds me, and I was talking about him just earlier today, when I was working in restaurants back in the olden days. But I had one very specific manager at Starbucks who was this like 6 foot inches Greek man. Mm-hmm. He would get very annoyed if you were not doing your job well. But the second that you proved to him that you were proficient in doing your job, he would then become a silly asshole around you. Like there's one story in particular where he was getting on my case about something, and I just went, oh my God. And I just like yelled at him in a joking way, like I was not in trouble. And he just kind of dropped his head down, walked to the edge of the bar, kicked open the swinging door to get into the back. And then I was like, oh my God.
And you just hear,
no, he propped the door open and just went, I went, oh
I like how
my God.
Like how in some workplaces you have to earn respect. In that workplace, you earned silly asshole.
Yeah. Well, because again, not to toot my own horn, but I was a very good barista. And I won his favor very quick. But as such, then it was nice because then it was like, oh, cool. He's letting loose around me. Like, that's very awesome. But also, fucking leave me alone. I'm working. I'm making so many frappuccinos. It's a field trip day. That's all we're making.
That was a really good time. I'm glad we watched this one. This was the one I had wanted to show you as your Fourth Doctor introduction, especially because when you first meet Tom, he sort of gives you the rundown of being a Time Lord. He's like, I'm 750 years old. I'm not a human like you. I can't, going home to me is not going to Earth, and I'm tired of chasing around the Brigadier. And Sarah's like, so you're having a midlife crisis? Yes.
Yeah, you know the episode is good when we don't have a lot to say about it.
Well, it's one of those where, like, I have a lot to say about it, but most of it is just me repeating, like, God, that's good. That's good.
I like that part.
Yeah, it's...
I like that.
Yeah,
And I really don't feel like having us do a complete rundown of the whole episode.
Yeah, no, I don't have the patience
and
for
also,
that.
I don't think people need to sit or want to hear me talk about how much I love 70s television. We get it. You're old.
One thing I will last say is I appreciate that our three like bad guys that carry the story, from Ibrahim to Professor Scarman
Also,
to
Dr.
Sutek.
Warlock, made up name. It's a made up ass name.
Yeah.
That is the name that the DM gives you when he wasn't prepared for you to interact with somebody.
Dr. Warlock and Lawrence Scarman. Like that
One
feels...
of those names the DM thought about for a long time and was so excited. And then the party turns around and talks to his associate, and then he has to go, Dr. Warlock.
Yeah, it's what I was going to say was one thing I really like about the through line of the three bad guys is all three of them are so different. Ibrahim is like cheese cranked up to 1,000, like he's playing, like when we're introduced to him, he is playing the organ like maliciously. Evil. And then someone comes in and disturbs him, and he has to run like 20 feet away from the organ to get like a close up on the camera saying, I am not to be disturbed. No one is to be here.
I know I said it earlier, Zach. I want an organ that I can play evil. But we don't live in a house like that, so I got to figure out a different instrument I can learn how to play evil.
And then Professor Scarman is a very like stiff, understated, I am the servant of Sutek and I do whatever he asks.
Evil banjo? Maybe.
And then the mummies are, of course, just like silent brutes. And then we get sort of this fourth flavor of Sutek, who is this just deliciously evil voice. He cannot move. He has no face to present. All he has...
Yeah, literally only has his pipes.
Has his pipes and has some glowing green eyes. And that's when you know he is staring at you. Kneel. Kneel before the might of Sutek. I love Sutek. I think he's a great bad guy. I think this whole episode is very well done. I think literally from the moment they're like stepping out of the TARDIS, I'm like, oh, this is unit headquarters, but like before it becomes unit headquarters, that's really interesting, which is also code for if we film here, we just have to swap out the props. We don't have to pay for another set. Which is great because we're spending so much money on all these fucking props.
We're spending so much money on these miniatures we have to destroy.
On the miniatures we have to destroy, and the tiny little room we have that's tomb. Tiny little tomb room. And then the Museum of Modern Art that they go through that is the Pyramid of Mars.
Yeah, for
with
real.
all its fucking puzzles.
Oh my God, we almost skipped over my favorite thing because my second favorite thing. Yes, the doctor walking in and then immediately turning around, but the doctor measuring distance using stitches on his scarf. Do you know what that means?
What does that mean, Cassie?
That means 4 made his scarf. I know we know the story of how the scarf was made, but in in the world. Do we ever find out how he comes into acquisition of the scarf?
I mean, we don't. I mean, honestly, I guess we would have to assume because
we don't.
What I'm saying is 4 puts on the scarf so quickly. I think we have to assume that 3 made the scarf.
That still tracks.
Just sitting in his velvet attire in a little rocking chair in the TARDIS.
That's what he's doing while he's listening to his radio shows.
When he couldn't go traveling in time and space, he instead just
my God, all that time that he spent just on Earth doing fuck all because he couldn't go anywhere in his flashy little TARDIS. 3 made 4 scarf. And 4 remembers how the fucking thing works. Oh my God.
Headcanon accepted.
I love it. I think with time they've all forgotten. I would not be surprised if 12 remembers, but
yeah, that was I'm glad we watched this. This is a great time. I've got a bunch of other classic stuff in the pipeline because I know how much you love it. I know that's a big.
I do prefer it generally. I have way more fun watching the classic than I do the modern.
There is some charming silliness to the classic stuff.
It's also me, and it's an ongoing query that I've been trying to unriddle and unfold because we're about to talk about my dad. But my dad, when I was younger, was so into science fiction and just every single thing that was a little bit silly, a little bit weird, we had. Mm-hmm. We had as a DVD, we had it as a VHS. No laser discs. We were too cool for those. But
HD DVDs.
I think about we have a couple of those, and then Blu-ray happened, and But I think back and when I had met you, I had told him about how you were a big fan of Doctor Who, and he scoffed, and I was like, I'm surprised that you're scoffing. Like, you're the sci-fi guy. And he's like, it's just, I don't know. And he's gotten to a point now in his health. I can't ask him what about Doctor Who he didn't like. And it's so frustrating to me because whenever we watch older stuff like this, I'm like, oh my God, this is like my dad catnip. What the fuck did he not like about it? And it's just, it's something that is going to like just sit with me and be a thing that I have to just like a little scab I get to pick at forever because I will never get an answer.
I mean, if I had to guess, and I don't know if this gives you any closure.
It's because my dad likes things that are cool.
Well, the reaction I tend to get from people who have that sort of response is that there's just so fucking much of it.
That's fair. Well, because that's also
there's
why
like a whole podcast worth of episodes you could do about it.
We should look into that.
We should look into that.
Because there is a part of me that's also like we grew up with analog television. Mm-hmm. Like I did not get cable until they shut off analog television. So that was 2011, 2012.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because you little privileged cable boy had your fancy dancy TV. Meanwhile, I'm still watching PBS until I'm 15.
I didn't really grow up with cable because I didn't really use. I had a TV in my room, but it was just to play DVDs and stuff.
Defense, you had a TV in your room. I didn't have a TV in my room until I was 20.
And it was my TV.
It was your TV that you gave me so I could have something.
Ironically, the same TV that was in my room.
That is now in our room again. Full circle that. Full circle.
Yeah, I just used it to play DVDs. Like I think my parents had cable, but we didn't have a TV we watched it on. I mostly watched YouTube, which is kind of why I still do now. That was my TV in the heyday. Especially because I think in 2006, YouTube was just full of pirated TV shows.
Oh, yeah. It was that. Or you would go to Stupid Videos to watch all the good stuff.
Yep.
Did you ever go on Stupid Videos?
I here's the thing. I genuinely don't know, but that's because I went to so many different video sites. I could not tell you all the ones I went to.
Because there specifically, anytime you started a video, it goes Stupid Videos. And it was just like, it was effectively like jackass ridiculousness, like those types of videos.
Gotcha.
But just, yeah.
Because I
that was my catnip.
That reminds me of like albino black sheep, and I can't remember other places I went to, but that's one of the ones that's one of the names that stuck in my head.
But yeah, I've always, whenever we're watching, especially stuff from this era, from the 70s and from specifically my favorite era of television,
Yeah.
I always scratch my head and wonder, like, why didn't my dad like this?
Yeah, I've definitely...
And there is a part of me too that's also like, because if you're somebody that grew up with Star Wars, like Star Wars is objectively cool.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars is so cool. Doctor Who is not.
It's okay. Neither am I.
No. Hey,
I mean, Doctor Who was cool at one time, and that time was, I think, 2008.
because you even said it the other day while I forget what we were watching. Oh, because we were watching the Hank Green video, and he had mentioned, or it was about sci-fi words and how the sonic screwdriver is a stupid name, and you went, yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's
Everything about Doctor Who's stupid, and I went, is that the
what I love
point?
about Doctor Who is that my favorite things of Doctor Who are when it embraces what it is.
like, are true blue Doctor Who fans just like Doctor Who hipsters? We like it because it's stupid. It's ironic.
Yeah, I kind of think so. I do think there's
There's
a certain level of like the time it is best is when the show is charming, because instead of trying to be self-serious. Anytime it tries to be like serious, it sucks.
Anytime the show tries to be Star Wars, it's not good.
Exactly. Like the thing that makes Doctor Who work is when you get something absolutely ridiculous. Like the Weeping Angels are absurd, but they're one of the best things to come out of science fiction in the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just because, like, oh yeah, they're temporally locked, so they look like statues. But when they touch you, they'll send you back in time and feed on the time you would have had. That doesn't make any fucking sense. But all you need to know is the statue touches you, you disappear.
Don't blink or you're dead.
Yeah, it's
And now there are so many people that have a genuine fear of statues. I can't think of anybody in particular, but there has to be some others, right?
yeah. To me, like, and this is another one where the space time traveler with the big scarf fights an ancient Egyptian god who can't move. Like, that's dumb, but it works. I have, like, I think 20 or so ideas for Doctor Who episodes or Doctor Who adjacent ones that I acknowledge a lot of them are kind of dumb. I don't want to share them because I might do something with them someday.
I repeat myself from earlier. Nerd.
The most recent one I've come up with, I have just titled "The Hottest Boy in the Universe."
No, Zach.
I will let people wonder what that's about. Anyway,
Zach.
I think we had a great time doing a little departure here.
Yeah, I think I always think it's a good sign when we don't have a lot to talk about because we were both just genuinely enjoying the episode.
Yeah. I
don't want to pick I don't want to pick it apart, and
I wanted to
it was just charming and delicious.
We're gonna have one more little departure here, but not to the classic series next week. You and I consider doing this as April Fool's, but April Fool's is your season, so I didn't want to take that from you.
Thank you. I get one day out of the year where I get to make you watch something.
Well, the premise of the show is that I know lots of stuff and that you learn. That's what the dynamic here is. That's the dynamic of the show.
Third time's a charm. Everybody say it with me. Nerd. Comedy comes in threes, baby.
But this year, by the end of the year, we will have finished Moffat's run on the show. And as such, I thought it would be good if we watched the other thing that made Moffat a household name, especially during this time of television.
Oh.
Next week, we're going to watch an episode of Sherlock.
Oh.
And so I'm curious. I'm curious how you're going to feel about Benny Boo-Cumbersdink.
Benny Batch?
Yeah, Benny Batch. It was the thing that made Benny Batch famous. Also Martin Freeman, or as you probably know him better, Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, you got it right the first time.
Yeah, I was right the first time. Bilbo Baggins going on an adventure. The thing that made the two of them household names. We're going to watch what I think is probably the best episode of the show. It's also the first episode of the show.
Oh, well.
Because I dare not subject you to the montage of him figuring out the Hounds of Baskerville, because it's fucking stupid.
The words, I also understand that.
I might show it to you separately. But for now, we will come back to that on the next episode of Who Is My Doctor?
Who is my doctor?
Who is indeed.
See, I like to think that one of these days we'll get a call from somebody who's like, damn, you guys are really good at doing voices. Have you ever thought about being voice actors?
Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this trip to ancient Egypt / Mars. I hope you all had a great time. Be sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening now to get updates for future episodes. And if you would like to support us directly, you can find us over on Patreon at patreon.com/whoismydoctor, where for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to episodes of this podcast a whole week early. Special thanks, as always, go out to our Big Daddy Dalek patrons, Andrew Blewett, David Gansel, Travis Aiken, and Daniel Lindgren. Next week, Cassie gets another piece of ancient Tumblr lore as she meets the world's greatest detective that isn't Batman. So we'll see you next Tuesday, because your Tuesdays are now Whose Days.